Let's light a candle for this one. Get into the vibe. So what's the tea? What's the tea about being a sidereal water sign? I want to tell you all, it's going to be useful information because I feel like a lot of us water signs are just winging it, okay? Being a sidereal water sign comes with a lot of difficulty, pain, and like confusion at times too. So we're gonna figure out today how to navigate through all of this. Because I just tweeted, the reason I'm filming this video is because I just tweeted, water signs become a vessel for a lot of people's fantasy a lot. People try to enforce their fantasy or their reality or their desire onto these water signs. And it can be very harsh. It can get dangerous. It also can be good if they're being put on a pedestal or if it's like uplifting them or anything like that. It's because of water as an element. And I feel like it's important for people to understand this. So let's get into it. And this video is going to apply to you if you have sun, moon, or rising in a water sign. This is for you. Or you can also relate if you have significant planets in water houses, like you have your sun, moon in, or your chart ruler in a water house. The water houses are 4, 8, and 12. These are all MOKSHA houses in Vedic astrology. So what is water as an element? As an element, water deals with emotion, cleansing, purity. You feel something, you're in the feels, you're connected to it. Water as an element rules empathy, being able to understand someone's situation, being able to take on the emotions of other people. It rules adaptability. It can shape shift. It's moldable. You can put it into different containers. You can turn it into ice. It can be rain. It's got a lot of different modes. So water also rules memory because the moon rules memory. It stores, and the moon is the reason why it has a gravitational pull, and it's able to control the tides and has an effect on the seasons. You know, the seasons are a big mood changer, right, in our life. That's water. It's water as an element. In Vedic astrology, the planets Venus and Moon are both considered water element or Jala Tattva. So when you think about planet Venus, you're like pleasures, relationships, joy, harmony, artistry. You're like, there's an emotional connection to those things in your life. And then the moon is our comforts, the public, our needs, our sense of security and support. And you have to have a deep connection to those things. And that's why the moon is the most important planet in Vedic astrology, because the moon is the mind. How is your mind supporting you through your life as well? So you have to think about water as an element in order to understand water signs and the difficulties and also the strengths that they have as well. So we're going to talk about both of those things and what to do with your energy if you're a water sign and you feel like you're drowning in life. Because being a water sign is a great thing. It's a great thing to have this type of power, because once you're able to actually utilize it to do things for yourself and for other people, then it starts to become an asset. Because water is like one of the most manipulative elements that we have, and you can manipulate water very well, it can become a blessing and a curse. The universe, when I think about the universe, we're in a pool of water. The galaxies are like a pool of water. Consciousness is like water. Dr. Arjun Pai has stated that Akashic records are stored in water. You know, water is going to be a place of storage in the future, as he mentioned in one of his videos. Water signs deal with a lot of projections from people, because when you're water, you have people, the energy that you emit is a welcoming energy for people to store anything that they don't want to keep. And water signs can do this to each other too. It's kind of like water is very reflective. Understand? You go to a river, you go to a pool, you can look at your reflection in the water. When you're dealing with people, as a water sign, you're dealing with people, and a lot of what they say, do, or think even, or feel about you, it gets stored. It travels along and gets stored, even if it's just a little percentage and it's not the full power, it gets stored. So people tend to deal with water signs and use them for some sort of to purify themselves. So water signs get used as a tool for other people to get purification in their lives. And it's weird because water signs seldom understand where their energy drainage is coming from, or why they feel so like they're leaking, or like they don't have energy or something. It's because you don't went into this place where a bunch of people have desperation energy, or you're in this household where everyone is just mean and evil spirited and no one's focusing on their healing. You're surrounding yourself around people that aren't in alignment with your highest good. You're taking all of that in. It's like being absorbed. So this is where the projections come in, because once your energy gets tainted from other people, water signs end up, being vulnerable to spiritual attacks. The fantasy aspect comes in because water can distort the way something looks, the way something feels. So water signs, some people are looking at them one way and the reality is something different. Because like I said, water is reflective. So people, just because they're not seeing something clearly, this is giving them enough room to create a fantasy in their head about who they think this person should be, or what they are, what the relationship is. Water signs are very welcoming and usually opening and wanting people to come in, but there's no boundaries being set up almost. It seems like it's all access right away. They get volunteered to be this type of vessel for other people to project on, like an emotional punching bag. It's one of my things that I felt for a long time. I'm like, I feel like an emotional punching bag because I'm a Cancer. But people feel the depth of water signs, so they also want to penetrate that in some way with their fantasy. Because depth creates character, and it creates range. And like I said, water can shapeshift, right? So they'll try to shapeshift you without your permission, without your acknowledgement, without your consent. So you become this vessel for the fantasy, and you're thinking that the relationship is one way, but they're thinking that the relationship is another way. And this can happen in different relationships. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic. It can be anything, with your job, anything. I remember one time, I'm a water sign with water houses all activated. I remember one time I was working for this job, and there was problems in the work environment when I just started working there. And they told me that, and I was trying to quit, and they told me that they needed me to heal the work environment. Verbatim. That's the type of stuff water signs go through. Like, they're just being volunteered as tribute to help cleanse and clear and heal a situation. And it can be also negative when people are projecting their anger onto the water signs. Someone else is having a difficulty in their life, and it could be another water sign too, but I'm saying because we're all human, but it's easy to latch on to water dominant people or water influenced people or water housey people because it's moksha. They're using you to liberate themselves. Moksha is liberation. So they're using you to get rid of this nasty part of yourself. But what happens to the water sign is that they end up taking that on. And then now they're angry. Now they've adapted all these behaviors because the water will transform. Please remember, water will transform. So you're taking in all this energy, and then you start becoming like this different person. Very impressionable people, water signs. You start to shift and become what it is that you've just ingested, what it is that you've just consumed, what it is that you just opened yourself, the energy you've opened yourself up to. And now you're on a different path. And what happened to the original plot of the movie? What happened to your original goal and what you really feel like you should be doing? And that's why water signs can feel like a sense of loss all the time. Self-sabotage. This is moksha houses. It's like you keep diving deep into things, because when they do go into something, water signs will dive deep. It's just, they go in, they're all in, they transform, and then they have an identity crisis. They forget what they're doing. They don't even know why they're here. There's a lot of confusion with water signs. So you have to be careful, water signs, if you're watching this, who you surround yourself with. You need to surround yourself with people that are in alignment with what you want and what you crave for your emotional stability, whatever. You have a whole chart. You're not just your one water sign. You probably have other energies in your chart. But I'm saying if you have dominant water energy, Sun, moon, lagna. You have to be careful with what you do with it. And you have to be real with yourself, because a lot of the times it will go unnoticed. How much you self-sacrifice, how much you are being spiritually or energetically attacked. You don't even realize it until it's too late, and it's 5 years down the road and you're like, oh wow, like I really was self-sacrificing for my friends. I really was letting myself go because I was in this environment, etc., etc. So because water holds on to things very easily, it's difficult to let go. When water gets polluted, it's difficult for it to be clean again. It's a process. It takes a long time. And water signs are always remembering and returning. They remember. You could do a water sign wrong and they'll never forget. They'll actually remind you of what you did because they kept receipts. They know. And so trauma is very hard to process because it's like it's almost still affecting them all the time. So I like to call it spiritual inflammation. Water signs have a lot of spiritual inflammation because they're taking in all this energy all the time from other people without doing the proper steps to cleanse and detach and cut cords when necessary. If you don't cut the cords, you're still allowing that energy to have access to you, even through thought or prayer or wish or on social media. Like what people think of you can travel, to you as well. That's why water signs have a difficult time. That's why on Twitter, if you go on Twitter, you'll see anything about water signs or 4th house, 8th house, 12th house placements. They go viral. Those tweets go viral because water signs are dealing with a lot. It's true. And that's why I felt I needed to make this video on it, because it really does need to be consciously worked through. Otherwise, you're going to be self-undoing all the time. You're not going to be happy with your life. You're going to feel a lot of regret and remorse for letting people in, and then your resentment. Ooh, the resentment starts to build because nobody is ever as compassionate and loving and self-sacrificing as these water placements. Water placements are always going to be like, oh, I feel for you, so let me give my energy to you. And then it ends up as energetic leakage because they don't get anything back from that. They just stop their path and their journey to go take care of someone else. So water signs, if you have water sign friends or you are a water sign, be gentle with yourself and make sure you're not jumping into things without checking in with your energy, because you can get burnt out real quickly. Why do I feel this way? Why doesn't anybody care about me? Why does my life feel so drained? Why do I feel so confused? Energy check, babes. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. But guess what? Water signs have a hard time deflecting that energy because it's water. So you have to purify yourself. We have Cancer is ruled by the moon, associated with the 4th house. Cancer is the first water sign. Cancer is always trying to feel a sense of love and community and connection to other people as well. Very caring. The moon represents the mother. Very moody because the moon's always changing signs, but they're willing to self-sacrifice their comfort sometimes for the comfort of other people, or they'll morph to be what the public or other people are praising them for. They'll want to be that or continue in that way. So then they'll get stuck in a habit. They'll get stuck in this cycle without really growing or changing because they love comfort so much. They love things to be easy for them. When they're self-sacrificing their time or giving their energy to their friend who always needs advice or something, they love the fact that they can support and help someone else. They love that. Cancers are able to experience what other people experience based off what the other person is telling them. So they learn quickly as well. So Cancer is dealing with the 4th house, right? So 4th house is your foundation. What's your rock? Where is your rock? What do you go home to, your home life? Make sure you keep your home and your surroundings, your personal private life. Make sure you keep that as golden as you possibly can. And anything that's disrupting that needs to get handled immediately. Otherwise, the Cancer will keep feeling like it's some sort of obligation to heal and mother, like it's their responsibility to care. No, If you're not getting anything from it, remember this energetic thing, you can end up feeling like you're just in this repetitive cycle, and then you're trying to find sweetness in other places. You're trying to find like another place to release. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, so we're talking strategy here. We're talking transformation. We're talking co-ruled by Ketu, the planet of detachment and spiritual wealth, right? So Scorpios, they want to feel useful. They want to feel needed. They want to feel like someone can depend on them. And they want to feel like they're completing something and obtaining power. But the thing about Scorpio being in correlation to the 8th house is that there's always ups and downs. Nothing's ever going to plan. So they're always having to readjust. But water takes time to change form. Water takes time to readjust. And because Scorpio is Martian, there's an appeal that they can have on other people. They're magnetic. They attract all types of people that usually just want something from them. They want like actual thing, like they want them to do something. They want their resources. 8th house is the house of shared resources. They want their power. They want their magic. They want their body. They want something from Scorpio, because Scorpio knows how to get a result. So then again, Scorpio will invest. 8th house is investments. They'll put all their energy into one person, place, or thing. And they suffer the most because they suffer a lot when that detachment comes, because that person, place, or thing will sometimes betray them. As soon as they feel like they got what they wanted from them, they'll start switching up. And Scorpio just put all this energy into this person, place, or thing. And the audacity that person, place, or thing has to just not give a result and leave Scorpio on the side. That comes with a lot of pain, resentment, and hatred bottled up. For Pisces, we have the 12th house. Pisces have a hard time seeing themselves. They can be some of the most self-destructive. So they try to see themselves in other people. They try to see themselves as other people. Pisces are the ultimate shapeshifters. Which can bring them a lot of power and allure. Since Venus exalts in Pisces, you can see that Pisces is a sign. These natives are always teeter-tottering between physical pleasures and spiritual pleasures, healing and self-destruction, which is why they can be the most wise if they choose to be a seeker, if they choose to uncover truth and I rubbed my makeup. If they choose to uncover truth and heal people with their knowledge and their wisdom and their experience and their journey. But Pisces also can realize that none of this matters on this here plane. None of this matters. So why should I be trying so hard? Why do I need to pull teeth in order to get a result? So this is why the manipulation of all water signs can be seen as oh, well, if I have to play this game, I'm going to figure out how to do it. And I'm going to do it well. I'm going to do it better than everybody else. And then they're untouchable. Then it's peace sign. Bye. Isolated. I'm wealthy. I'm out of this world. Or I'm out of this world. Drugs, alcohol. They will do anything to get out of a certain state of living. But like I said, it's both. It's either they're super sad and oh my God, this life means nothing, because it's the wisdom of Jupiter. It's the final Jupiter sign. So there's a lot of wisdom here. So that's what I'm saying. It gets destructive on a human level, as a sign, as an archetype, as the cosmic poem, as Pisces. It's none of that matters. Everything will fade as the poem. But we on this life. 12th house is jails and hospitals, babe. Isolation. If you really fall into the trap of Pisces, down in the deep, deep waters where they haven't discovered yet, you could lose yourself real easily. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because they can be whatever other people want them to be. And they don't mind it. but that can create some sort of hollowness inside or a loss of soul type of feeling. They feel like they're on a path or a journey that was predetermined or is separate from their soul. They're just going through the motions. Pisces, they have a lot of healing capabilities as well. They have to be, well, all water signs, but once you get to Pisces, we're talking about the 12th house, which is the end. It's the end of a cycle. 12th house transits, 12th house is loss. It's bedroom, it's isolation, it's solitude. So they can be very isolated in their experience. They feel like no one in their immediate environment can really understand what they're going through, which is the case for other placements. But for Pisces, they have a lot of inner child work to do, because what is it that they really want to do in life? They don't really know. It's hard for them to find that path. So they need to surround, again, with all water signs, you have to surround yourself with people that are in alignment with that path. This is ruled by Jupiter. And Pisces is self-sacrificing in the martyr. So they can kind of be content. Pisces is the only water sign I feel like that can be content sometimes with being this vessel for people's fantasy. They don't mind it as much. They do, I'm not saying they don't, but they don't mind it as much because they feel like they're at least participating or being able to be a part of someone's story, you know, but then they don't build one of their own. So we're in this material world. We're on this plane where materials matter, status matters. I've tweeted this before, but water signs find and connect to astrology because it validates them, validates their pain, and they're able to work with their energies a little bit better. Work with this MOKSHA, this nothing's able to stick, nothing's ever really going their way if they have a lot of water influence. My advice to water signs or water influence house people, keep secrets with yourself. Do something in your day that no one really knows about, that you're able to escape into your own world and cleanse your energy. You don't need to be a part of everyone. Spend days alone. Spend time in meditation or prayer. Meditation, prayer, or study. You need to do something that's separated. Moksha is isolation, it's liberation. Do something that is separate from what you feel like is predetermined or cursed or whatever. So that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, because water signs are all in when they're in. They feel deep. They want to go, they want to penetrate that on an emotional level, and understand your energy reserves. Check in with yourself first thing. When someone asks you something or someone just starts coming and demanding something from you, remove yourself first. Be like, I need to take a step back before I come and deal with this, because you need to see if you even have the energy to deal with it. Apply your lessons. Take your lessons that you learned. You've seen how someone's treated you or something's treated you. You need to learn from that. Stop giving so many chances. Stop giving so many chances. Give 1, 2, that's it. People will show you who they are and they'll show you how they want to use you. You need to apply logic, because sometimes they'll say things that make you feel something, but feelings aren't logical and feelings don't last forever. Feelings are not always your friend. Sometimes feelings are just on this side of getting comfort. That's where Cancer struggles, because their feelings are like, oh, like this feels good right now in this moment. But long term, what is it looking like? Gotta be real with yourself with that. Under spiritual attack, I have a post on it on my Patreon if you want to check that out. The rituals you can do. There's so many things that water signs need to do in order to cleanse their energy and keep a clear head. But one of the main ones is to just be alone and be careful of the content you consume, the energy, where your energy is at. Because you start to become that, because you're storing it. Remember what I said, water is storing stuff. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video and learned a little bit about being a sidereal water sign. And if you have any questions, go ahead, let's talk in the comments. Other than that, I do hope to see you all next time in my video. Or on Patreon, $3 a month, just a cup of tea a month. I post a lot of research on there and transit updates and stuff like that. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.